Do you feel like, I mean, there was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay.
You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
Cold red. They done caught me slipping. I need to know turkey or no turkey, and I ain't talking about no cheese sandwich.
Just got one sock with you. I mean, just shook him loose and left.
Oh my goodness, Elizabeth! I'm coming again, Elizabeth! Oh Lord! Oh, it's the big one, Elizabeth!
Were you and the coaching staff able to talk about what happened Friday and move on?
Y'all asked that question to them, huh?
What about for you?
Y'all asked that question, so y'all know the answer to that.
Do you feel like everything's been resolved?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
Well, yeah, but
There
we
you
didn't
go.
hear it from you.
Obviously, they can't go and tell y'all something I ain't say.
You feel like you got that same joy right now? Do we used the same thing?
No.
Why not?
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
The NBA is back, bro. It's only been 2 weeks, but I can't imagine life without it. It has been very hectic. It has been very entertaining. There's been a lot of drama in and out of the league. But thank God for it. It came just in time because the seasonal depression of 5 p.m. darkness has just started. Let's start off talking about a team and a player that seemingly have gone under the radar in terms of actually being discussed. And it feels like that because we shouldn't really be surprised by him or their success. To me, it's still quite remarkable how good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder have been this season. SGA is averaging 33.5 points on 63% true shooting, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal and a block per game. His team so far, as of recording, is a perfect 7-0. His second best player hasn't even played yet in Jalen Williams. Chet has only played in 4 games. I saw a stat that said only 4 players have played in every single OKC game this season, with 14 different players playing across the first 7 games, each with at least 10 minutes. What that shows to me is a team that is willing to play a lot of players and quite frankly has to play a lot of players, including a guy like AJ Mitchell, who has really emerged as a very important second-year player for them with his ability to create offense off the catch and drive to the rim, which is usually Jalen Williams' role as a secondary creator on this team. Cason Wallace has still been incredible on defense as always. They're only shooting 31% from 3 as a team so far, which is not very good at all. This is all to say that they have not really missed a step at all, even with their team being nowhere near complete or firing on all cylinders. They still played the same suffocating defense no matter who's on the floor. They're first in defensive rating by 4 whole points ahead of the Spurs. And SGA has been able to play at the same MVP level no matter who's on the floor with him. I think nobody's really talking about them because this is just somehow expected of them, but they have the best potential out of any team so far this decade to go back to back, and I think it's important to give Shai his MVP flowers. Speaking of MVPs carrying their teams, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been a wrecking ball to start the season. 34 points per game, 13.3 rebounds, 7 assists on 70% true shooting is just pure dominance. He's even making 60% of his threes so far. He's Giannis, you know he's unstoppable getting to the rim, and yet it's still so impressive how he does it. He had that game winner in the close game against the Pacers with the turnaround jumper that honestly I had no belief was going in, but it did. I can't lie, I didn't expect much from this team outside of Giannis. I know he's a top 5 player in the world, but I really didn't expect the team around him to look as good as it does. That's to say, Ryan Rollins has been an absolute revelation for this team that looked absolutely cooked in terms of ball handlers. As KPJ misses time, Ryan has averaged 17 points per game and 6 assists. Just the fact that they have a guy who can drive to the rim and play make outside of Giannis is huge, considering I thought that they didn't have anybody in that role this season. He had a breakout 25-point game against the Knicks, and without Giannis, he scored 32 in a huge win against the Warriors. Gary Trent has been super reliable. AJ Green has shot the skin off the ball at 51% from 3. overall, it's a team. They're the second best in three-point shooting at 41%. That's really the biggest thing for me, because you can imagine a team that has Giannis who just attacks the rim at will. The fact that they're shooting this well around him is really showing how they got these wins, because, you know, Giannis can't, just because he's shooting 60% from three doesn't mean he's taking 10 a game. They need their role players, guys even like Kyle Kuzma, who I didn't expect to be good at all. Those guys, even Miles Turner, who hasn't been amazing so far, these guys have been hitting threes, and I'm really thoroughly impressed with the Bucks so far. Is what I would have said if they didn't just get blown out by the all-star, all-defensive, all-NBA, Scottie Barnes-led Raptors tonight in a 30-point blowout. You know, it's really funny writing these scripts about these teams, and they just lose as I'm writing this stuff. Shout out to the Raptors. I'll talk about them in their own video. Before the season started, a lot of smart NBA people believed the 76ers to be one of the biggest gambles, mysteries. How can anyone believe in this team and Joel Embiid's health? Well, I can say I totally agreed with them, and we were all wrong. This is Tyrese Maxey's team. He's averaging a crazy 33.7 points per game with 9 assists on 46% from the field and from 3 on 9 attempts. Last year was just super rough, and he was put in the number 1 option role, and he really struggled. In terms of efficiency and shot chucking, he had to do a lot of it for a pretty mid team last year. However, this year, he's taken the experience of last year, and it has been dominant. The pull-ups, the step back, catch and shoots, he's been able to get to the rim and draw 9.5 free-throw attempts per game. I mean, he's playmaking at a high level, and right beside him, the 3rd overall pick, VJ Edgecombe, has had an amazing start to the season. He shot out of a cannon for the 3rd highest scoring rookie debut game ever with 34 points. He just looks so poised and confident on the floor, averaging 25 and 5, shooting 42% from 3. He's an elite athlete, and he's already creating shots for himself like he's been in the NBA for years now. And to be honest, a lot of the rookies have been impressive so far this season, but that's a video for another time. And then speaking of the 76ers question marks, like, Joel Embiid hasn't really looked like himself yet physically. He's not imposing himself to the rim. He's still not moving quite the same. But I don't think this is that big of a deal. If anything, the emergence of Maxey, VJ, Grimes is still good. Jared McCain just played his first game tonight. It's just taking the weight out of Joel, who's only playing about 22 minutes per game and still averaging 17 points per game. And we don't know how PG-13 will play when he comes back. To me, it feels like the Sixers really lucked out and created this new path to the future for themselves, where they can rely on these fast, athletic young guards rather than worrying about whatever Joel and PG can give them at this point in their careers. And at this point, like, Joel and PG is like the icing on the cake rather than being the main ingredients. So the Sixers are encouraging. That's also what I would have said if they didn't just lose tonight to the Bulls in a pretty horrendous 4th quarter where Maxey and Joel just kind of took some really bad shots. Not a very good 4th quarter and second half for the 76ers, and they even said in the broadcast that the 76ers were the best 4th quarter team in the league so far. Like, they had a comeback victory against the Celtics, the Wizards, but they kind of just blew this one against the Bulls, which we'll talk about the Bulls. But yeah, the Sixers are still pretty impressive even with this pretty embarrassing loss. Next up, the Spurs and Wembanyama, bro. I was telling people on my podcast, the Pushing the Pace podcast, go subscribe to our channel and listen to me and my co-host Samuel talk about the NBA. But before the season, I was speaking very highly of Wembanyama and the Spurs' potential. I said that they could be a top 6 seed just because I saw that there was no ceiling for Wemby. And he's been crazy good this season outside of a pretty bad game against the Suns, which, again, another team that I'm talking about, hyping them up, and they've had a pretty bad loss, and Wembanyama had a pretty bad game. So far, I mean, they still started off 5-0. They haven't played the best teams, but I don't really care. Wembanyama averaging 27 points per game, 14 rebounds, 4.7 blocks per game. Look, Wembanyama's biggest issue in his early career have been his shot diet, which hasn't been the greatest. He had double-digit 3-point attempts last season, which is a lot for him at his size. And his frame and weight wasn't enough for his size. After his busy Monk, China, and Elijah summer, he has been taking more shots closer to the rim and less threes. He's still the best defender in the league just off his ridiculous size. He had a great debut against the Mavs, dropping 40 and 15 against AD and their allegedly good defense. Dylan Harper looked very encouraging as a rookie. He was very good at getting to the rim and very good at finishing and was averaging a lot of assists for this team. Unfortunately, he just got hurt. Stephon Castle also looked a lot better in his second year. However, they're going to enter in a pretty difficult stretch right now with Harper being gone and Fox still not being back. However, I still believe in Wembanyama and the Spurs, and they've been off to the first time in their long, illustrious franchise history 5-0, which is just surprising to me that they've never done that before. But yeah, they started off 5-0. Now, trust me, I'm not a guy that believes in most conspiracy theories, but the idea that Joe Dumars, who worked for the league office for many years, joined the Pelicans as a general manager in order to destroy this team's future so that they can be relocated to Seattle or Las Vegas, I don't believe that kind of stuff. However, when you join a team as a general manager and immediately trade their draft pick for next year unprotected just to move up a few spots in the draft, he should have been fired then and there for malpractice against his own team. That draft day trade is already easily a top 5 worst move any general manager has made this half decade. The Pelicans were 0-6, but they, as of writing this earlier today, they just beat the Hornets. Regardless, Zion is out for the next week. This team so far has just felt very dead on arrival, even in their win tonight. In such a cutthroat Western Conference, I thought that they could maybe win 35-ish games, but it might be looking even worse for them, bro. And then I wrote that they weren't even playing Derek Queen, and then they finally played Derek Queen. He had a great fourth quarter, 12 points, 7 rebounds, I believe 3 or 4 assists. He played a very decent fourth quarter for them, and they relied on him a lot in that just to win against the Hornets without LaMelo. Shout out Con Knipple. But yeah, man, they traded up for him, and that was like his first game where he played a lot of minutes. Their coach, Willie Green, might have saved his job for another week. Jose Alvarado played a great game, but man, this team is just an absolute mess. And our last big mention for this video is the other dysfunctional West team, the Memphis Grizzlies, man. They are having a rough time with Ja Morant right now. I'll keep it quick because it might not matter in 2 weeks' time, or it might eventually lead to a trade, but Ja essentially got into it with his coaching staff, probably during halftime in their game against the Lakers. In the second half of that game, as the Grizzlies gave up a double-digit lead, Ja looked disinterested and had some post-game comments where he kept repeating to reporters to talk to the coaching staff. He's copying Jimmy's line and saying he's lost his joy. He got suspended for 1 game by his team for these comments. To be honest, I can't lie and say I had big expectations for this team. I didn't really see, I understood that they got rid of Bane because of contract issues and they didn't really want to pay him, but I don't know, man. I don't really think much of them, but having these disputes with your star guard and new coaching staff this early in the season, it's not a good look. I don't want to speculate on the future too much, but it's a bad start for the Grizzlies, and if you told me in 6 months Ja Morant is on a new team, I would not be surprised. The relationship with them right now is looking quite murky, to be honest. And to be honest as well, Ja hasn't been very inspiring or really lived up to the standards we put on him just a few years ago. It's been quite sad. Now we're entering the 20-second mention mode, where I gotta mention a bunch of teams in 20 seconds because I don't want the video to be any longer. The Bulls started off 5-0. Are they really that good? I wrote no, but after this win against the 76ers, man, they might be good because Josh Giddey has been really good. Triple-double, second triple-double in a game for him in a row. I mean, it's good for Bulls fans. You know, they've been through it the past, 10, almost 15 years now. They've been through it, so it's good that they have a good team. Next up, what's up with the Hawks, bro? And the Magic. The Hawks, I'll give them some time because Trey is out for a couple weeks now. They did just win against the Magic. Jalen Johnson, I hope, and he has been having a pretty decent season. So I'll keep the Hawks comments to a minimum as of now, but the Magic, bro, the Magic are still really rough on offense. They haven't integrated Bane very well, and their defense has taken a hit, which is terrible considering last year they were barely like a 7 seed, and they had one of the best defenses in the league, and that really made up for their big lack in offense. Yeah, that 50 mark win for the Magic is probably not happening at this point. Cade and the Pistons have been really good. He's averaging almost 24 and 10. Shout out to Jalen Duren, 17 points and 10 boards right now. The Nuggets are the Nuggets, man. They're playing like the Nuggets, except Murray has been playing much better, and Jokic isn't taking a lot of shots. Still, I don't know, like leading the league in triple doubles, just getting them very easily. Cam Johnson hasn't done anything so far, so we'll see about that acquisition later. The Rockets deserve their own video, but I just want to mention them right now. Şengün, KD, and Amen have been great. They're the best offensive rating in the league, the best three-point shooting team in the league. Tari Eason has been great. Steven Adams has been incredible, and they are so good at offensive rebounding. It's nuts. The Lakers, bro, even without LeBron, so far Luka has looked very fit and has been scoring the ball like crazy. He's been averaging almost 40 points. Austin Reeves has also been crazy good with a 50-point game. He had a game winner. Jake LaRavia has been really good for them. They just won a game without Luka or Reeves, with Nick Smith Jr. and DeAndre Ayton dominating. Like, Rui Hachimura had a good game. I'm just surprised that the Lakers are actually winning games and that their role players are actually playing pretty decently for them. It's quite encouraging. We'll see when LeBron comes back. Maybe the Lakers can do something. And then the Mavs, man. Oh boy, there's lots of negative stuff you can say about this team, this defense wins championship team. But I'm going to save that for my co-host who can tell you all about that on the Pushing the Pace podcast. Please, again, go check that out. Listen on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm very excited to be coming out with more videos as the season has begun. So please like, subscribe so you can say that you were here before I blew up. Thank you and take care.